Hello everybody, this is Syncretic 3D, and in this live stream I'm going to cover the material process for this scene right here. This is made by Pixar 3D, just a motion graphic animation. See that right here? Kind of goes through that little ring right here. I'm just going to make the materials for this. Alright, so let's see here, render the sound. I want to use cycles for this render there. GPU as well. Make sure my graphics cards are turned on here. It is, okay, cool. It's a bit slow. Oh well. I think it's the lights here. Oh, the HDRI. Take us off. Remove. There we go. Okay. I'm going to give this a plastic shader for my package. Oh, I'm going to add the let me add the package into the description here. 1 second here. Okay, it should be in the description now. Cool, okay. Alright, so I'm going to give this plastic material to the outside as well. I don't want an inside material at all. I just want one material for the whole thing. Same as here as well. I'll make these materials. Take away the inner. Okay, perfect. I'm going to give this a nice glass for this sort of elastic piece right here. Maybe a glass diffraction. That we get that chromatic look to it. You can see that, oh, right here, that chromatic aberration happening. And raise roughness here. That's pretty good. And that'll probably look pretty good when it's animated here. Perfect. It's like a portal. Okay, so I want to give this some color. Get a plastic shader. And this would be a different color here. This as well. I'm gonna give this one here a nice gold color, so reflection shader. Like so. Give this a new plastic shader here. I want to make it purple, like magenta color. Maybe even a blue color instead. Give it some roughness here. Nice work, thank you. Hello, Pyro and Usama30. I am working on this motion graphics scene, just adding materials to it. Showing you guys how to use my nodes in my package. And I want to give it some edges here. So I'm going to add a mask edges node. Increase the thickness here. Maybe make it the maximum a little bit higher, like 5. Get this sort of thick edges here. Maybe 3 instead. And I want a texture to define the edges here, so I'll add a noise double node. Plug that into the mask. And we see no effect. That's because the thickness is overriding the texture. Let's dial this back and increase the contrast here. Now we get that nice textured edge. Maybe make this something like 2 instead. A little bit better. Now I'm going to plug this into a mask brightness node. And plug that into the brightness here. And we don't see much effect yet. That's because we need to raise the brightness maximum to something like 3. Maybe lower this right here. There we go. Now we see it. And we also have the ability to dial back the saturation here. Just in case you want that. Maybe dial this back a little bit. Very subtle effect. Maybe even more subtle. Okay. Now I want to add some glass stripes to this tube here. So I'll add a wave texture and add a flatten node from my package. Flatten. Change the offset here. And the white is where we will put the glass. Let's grab a glass diffraction shader. Then add a shader mask. Plug it right here, and plug this into the mask. Maybe make this yellow instead. That's more fun. Maybe increase the brightness here as well. Maybe orange instead. There we go. Maybe change the stripe scale here, something like 3. Maybe 2. That looks better. Okay. Now I want to use the object coordinate for this because it will be distributed better on the object. So object vector input object. Maybe change this to something like 0.2. No, 0.5. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna give this right here some tiled floor. So I'm gonna add a plastic shader for my package again. Plastic. And I'm gonna add a tiles node. Change the scale here, something like 10. And then I'm going to change the mortar size. I'll plug this into a bump, master bump, for the height information. Plug this into here in the normal. Maybe make this black or a light gray. Okay, I want to add some patterns to these tiles here. So I'm going to add a, what's it called here, tile pattern generator, and I will match the scale of the tile, so 10. And I'm going to just isolate this selection here, Control I, H, just so it goes faster when I am modifying the node. And we can change a lot of things here. First we need to combine these two masks together. There we go. Now they're combined, and I will change the W value here and show it like the tiles that we receive from this node output. That looks pretty good. And I am going to, let's see here. Let's invert this information here. Let's grab an inverter node. And then I will add that to the gray color here. Like on Alt H, unhide everything else. Tiles look a little bit too small in my opinion, so I will change that to something like 5 instead for the tiles and also the tile pattern as well. Maybe make this light gray. It's a little bit better, like that, quite a bit actually. Maybe change the W value here. Ooh, like that a lot. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, you never know what you can get with this pattern generator. There's so many possibilities. It's really endless. So that was good, in my opinion. I'm gonna create some speckles in this right here, this ball right here. So let's isolate everything here. Control I, H. Well, except for the lights. Alright, I'll keep the light in the camera. Control I, H. Okay, I'm going to add a speckles node, and change the size, something like 30. And unlike the Volnite texture, you can actually control. You can control the count of dots, and it corresponds to the contrast and shrink and all that, as you would expect. So I'm gonna keep it somewhere around there, and then I'm going to add a something to distort this and make it more noisy. So let's add a noise transform node. Plug it right here. Let's match the scales. So let's do 30. Lower the influence here. Looks pretty good. Alright. Let's shrink this a little bit. Maybe make this 20 instead. And let's increase the contrast here. Increase the count as well. Okay. I'm going to add a reflection shader right here. And then a shader mask. Plug speckles into the mask right here. Now you have speckles on this ball. Let's increase the roughness here. Maybe the brightness as well. Now the brightness feature on these this node right here for the reflection, it is breaking physics with how bright it is, but it doesn't really matter in my opinion. Looks good. Maybe make this pink instead, or light blue, or a light blue looks good. Let me answer some questions here in the chat. How did you get so good at nodes? They've always seemed like the most elusive part of Blender for me. I started getting into it when I found the channel, what's it called? Penfinity, I believe. Penfinity. Let me link the channel in the chat here. You find it here. He's about as big as my channel, I guess. After I saw what he can do with nodes, I realized that the not many people were really teaching nodes in Blender, and I saw it as an opportunity to actually learn about it, because sometimes you can learn it easier by teaching it, and I feel like I wasn't really that knowledgeable about it when I first started teaching it on YouTube. Really, it's more so over the past 2 years now, I guess, being on YouTube. Took a while to get where I am right now. Like, you look at my old videos, it's nowhere near the quality that you see these days. I mean, some of it looks good, but like the node networks that I constructed before in my old videos, they weren't really easy to control. It just created a result that looked good in the end, but wasn't easily modifiable, which is why you need to make them into procedural nodes in the first place. So I was kind of missing the point. Let me raise the roughness here on the glass. Sometimes I like to add some transparency to this right here as well. That looks pretty good. I don't like the lighting here though. It's too... No, let's change the lighting here. I'm not good at lighting, guys. Let's see here. Maybe 2 lights, maybe? I don't know. A soft light and a hard light. The great thing about the nodes in my package, like the plastic shader, for instance, you can actually control the brightness of the emission through the shader, like just by increasing the intensity here. You can fake the lights being brighter to 5. Oh, that's the... Weird. Usually it works. Let's see, it's not working right now. Okay, well, you'll see what I mean when I have like a cube or something. Or a Suzanne head, rather. Suzanne. New... Give it a subdivision surface here. And give it a plastic shader. And you can see that why is it so slow? What is this sampling up at, like trying to caustics maybe? It's so weird. Why is it so slow? I'm gonna do 5. Okay, so you can actually fake the brightness of the lights through this through the shader right here. See that? Probably change color for now as well. Yeah, so just wanted to give extra control to the to my shaders in comparison to the potential BSDF. Just because you can only control the for now with the brightness, it seems, and you can't get these crazy like controls like this. You can't like max it out at like 10 or something like that. So that's why I have the option here. Again, that's not physically correct, but I don't think we need to care about that, because it's not like a real plastic would work the way it does in Blender anyways, because it would absorb light, for instance, and yeah, you fake the absorption through the brightness here. So looks like the scene is done. Looks pretty good. I like this. I like how it turned out. It looks pretty good. Though I'm going to show you some other options we can have for the floor here. I'm going to add a second setup here with a reflection shader, and I will raise the roughness here, and then I will add a, let's call it generator or something. Let's pattern generator, Let's raise the scale something like 20 or 10. Let's isolate this right here. Let's change the ratio for the scales here. No, let's do 5 right here and 25 right here, or 10 right here. That's pretty good. I like that quite a bit. 0.65 should be the value. 655. Okay, let's plug it into a mask bump node. Plug it into the normal here. Let's Alt-H, unhide everything. And then we will plug the mask also into the mask rotation here. And get some reflections at a different angle. Let's do 20 for this instead. And then raise the roughness here. That is another idea. We can also add like a, let's try to add some sort of metal bar on top of this and the bottom of it as well. So let's add a gradient. Gradient 2. And you get them on both sides. And then we will add a flatten node. Change the offset here. And that will be our bar. And I'm going to add a reflection shade over here. Now add another shader mask right here. Plug this into here in the mask. And raise the roughness here. And I am going to plug this into a mask bump node over here. Plug this into the mask over here. And invert this as well. That way it is raised above everything. And then I will add a wave texture. Control-Shift-D to keep the connection. That is with the node wrangler installed. Let's change this to something like 20. A little bit too high. Let's do something like 10. And add a flatten node. Plug it into another mask bumper here. Plug into here. Should only be on that metal bar right here because it's only on the part right here. Let's lower the influence of the mask to 0.5. And then I'm going to plug that into the mask rotation as well. I'm going to add another light right and back here. Looks pretty good. Alright. I'm going to have some fun by importing a mesh. If I would import. Where's it at? Hold on 1 second here. File import. Oh, obj. And I'm going to import a rubber duck. That's always fun. This here. Let's hide everything else, or delete everything else. We don't need this anymore. Just for testing around, anyways. Reposition the camera by pressing numpad period. I'm going to add a light, area light. Increase the power to something like 1000. And I'm going to add a floor plane here. There we go. And I'm going to show you guys the tile generator in more detail. It's faster now too. Let's do tiles here. Let's change the scale, something like 1. And also we can round this too, so that it's snapping to increments. I am going to plug this into a plastic shader for our result. I am going to plug this into a tile mask. This helps us. This node right here helps us control the roughness and the colors and the height information all together in one node. I figured this should be separate from the actual tiles because sometimes you want to use one mask for the mask input here, and sometimes you want to use a different one, like this one right here. So I figured it should be separate. Alright, so I'm going to plug the mortar into the mortar here. And I'm going to set some colors here. White and white. Plug the mask into the mask here. It's on blue. And you can change the offset for this. Or we can use checkers right here. Checkers mask. And this controls the three roughness components of the different tiles. So this will control the white tiles, this will control the blue tiles, this will control the mortar. Let's plug the roughness into the roughness here. Mask roughness. You can see that here. It's kind of hard to tell, we don't have the bump though. So I'm going to plug this into a mask bump. Actually, the normal, it already has the inside of it, so I'm going to plug the normal into the normal here. Increase, also plug the height into the height. There we go. Let's lower the bevel size here. Let's also increase the subdivisions to this ducky. I'm going to change the mortar here. That's just the thickness between the tiles. And I'll plug the color into the color here as well. Make this the blue color. I think I need to increase the contrast here as well. Maybe increase the lights here as well. Let's do 4 times 3. Much better. We can lower the bevel here. And the fun part about the these nodes here is that you can add some worn edges to the tiles based upon any texture that you want. So for example, I'll plug in my speckles node. Have to invert it though, and then I'm going to plug it into the mask for the bevel. Now just increase the influence of that. Now you see some worn edges based upon that texture. Let's change the scale here to 25. It's a little bit better. And then we can add some noise to that. So it adds a noise transform node. Make it match the scale of the one right here. So 25 is good. Lower the influence here. We also change the count as well. There we go. Now we have some worn edges to this thing. We can also make sure, yeah, that's good. We can also add a edges node helper. Plug the edges into the edges here. And we can change this. Get some more worn edges as well with the actual colorization of the tiles. Let's make this 0.3. Nope, no, 0.5. That's good. Maybe make this red and red like so. We can change the mortar size here. Looks pretty good. And of course we can also always change the tiles using a some sort of distortion like a noise transform node. Just plug it into the vector right here. And lower the detail over here. Change the influence here as well. If you want that. I mean, it's a stylistic choice. It's not really for realism. But you can do realism as well. Just change the scale, something like 60. Yeah, some noisiness to it. Like that. And you can also plug the speckles into the mask of these as well, the colored edges. And it gets that variation there. There we go. And let's see here. So that's pretty much the tile nodes, except for the tile pattern, that is. Tile pattern. We can make this match the tiles right here, so just copy the scale. It's not really working on the duck. Seems that the tiles work well on the duck, not the or any kind of organic mesh, that is, but the tile pattern kind of breaks apart. But we can add this to the ground here instead. Someone says your work is inspiring. Thank you. I wasn't aware that it was. Just sort of messing around. Hi from Italy. Hello. Hopefully everything's okay over there. Yeah, looks pretty good. And we can always change the colors right here as well. Make it like a gray color. It looks like it's really gigantic, you know, like a giant statue of a duck. Okay, I'm gonna import a different mesh now. File import obj, and I will import the a statue of a nymph. 1 second, once it loads. Okay, it loaded in. I had to shrink it down though. Okay, the lighting is really bad. Okay, let me delete that, and I'm going to add another light right here. Make it something like 1000. Maybe this back here. Okay, I'm gonna raise the light here. There we go. Okay, and I'm gonna give it a new plastic shader from my package. Maybe make it black this time. And raise the roughness here. And this is where the Fresnel and intensity come in handy. We can always increase the brightness of the lights through the actual shader. I'm going to add some form of noise texture for the variation in the roughness, so I'll add a noise transform node. Oh, sorry, a noise double node. And make sure to apply the scale as well. Okay, that's good. Plug this into the mask roughness. Increase this all the way up. Lower the roughness right here. Let's raise this something like 2. And then I am going to add some, maybe move the light over here or something. There we go, looking good. I like the texture in this a lot, actually. Maybe 1.5 is better. This, by the way, is a roughness slider that is a coating on top of the mask roughness. Then I also have the maximum that it can reach to. Let's multiply by 2. One's fine though. One's usually fine. This is like a just in case scenario. I am going to plug this into a mask bump node. And lower the influence here. Maybe add some smooth shading to this nymph. Looks good. Plug it into normal. Let's see how it looks. Looks good. I am going to mix this with a speckles node for some tiny divots in the material. So I'll change this to something like 25, 35, and I will change the count. Maybe make this 100 instead. And then I will put into here. Change the size of them. And then you can also add some noise to those divots as well by adding a noise transform node. Plug it right here. Match the scale. And lower the influence here. Well, I think that's all I need to cover for this live demonstration. I think I'll do more of these in the future as well. Thank you guys for watching, and hope to see you guys soon. Alright.